Well, shalom everybody. Good morning. Ariel Tzadok here from the KosherTorah School, found online, of course, KosherTorah.com. It is Thursday, the 11th of July, 2019. It's about, 8:30 in the morning here in the Red Rock Canyon, just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, you know something? It's every morning we begin early in the morning. We do our meditations, our prayers. Rather than go to the gym this morning, I decided to come out here to the great wide world of nature because there's a very, very important lesson that I want to share with you about some of the deepest secrets, not only of the Kabbalah and psychic, spiritual, prophetic ascent, but also how to live a properly balanced, energetic life. Let's start off with the foundation beginnings of things. Look at all around you. Out here, it is gorgeous. Out here, it is beautiful. But still, everything around us is still part, I'm going to use the movie terms now, part of the matrix. In other words, the entire world that we see here is a facade, an overlapping veil of an underlying energetic reality. In other words, everything in existence is energy. And energy needs to be balanced and aligned. You know, like it is in math, you have the equal sign in between that makes every equation balanced. That's how physics and the laws of reality and nature are defined. You know, balance is out in nature. Well, this is the exact same thing. Those of you who know electricity, you know, the positive and the negative polarities, everything's got to be balanced. Magnetism, you got one pole, the other, everything's got to be in a state of balance. Anything that's out of balance, that's out of sync, that's what in the Torah tradition, the Bible tradition, the Kabbalistic tradition, that's what we call sin, blemish, klipon, all the rest of those other negative words. Essentially, balance, good. Imbalance, bad. How do we then get balance? Answer, you, I, we, and every one of us has got to do it individually, because that's why we're here. How do you do it? Honestly, you need clarity. Clarity of mind, clarity of heart, clarity of action. And that's the secret of what we need to talk about. For those of you who are familiar with the Kabbalistic tree of the Sefirot, you have the three columns, the right, the left, and the center. And we always go up the center column. But what is the center column? It starts at the bottom, which is called Malkhut, which is this physical world all around us. It is the grounding of the physical form. It goes up through what's called Yesod, which is libido, sexual energy, which then takes you to the heart, which is your emotional energy, which shoots you up all the way to the top, to what's called the Keter. And the Keter is called the will, the power, the desire. You see, only when you have the will and the power and desire in absolute purity can you bring down the energy into Malkhut. This actually is reflected in this week's Torah portion, which is called Hukat. It's the story of the Red Heifer. For those of you who are not familiar, real simple, God says if you ever want to have absolute purity, cleanliness, which is energy, balance, you need to have this ashes of this red heifer. And the red heifer is a cow, all right? But it had to be absolutely pure red. Couldn't even have one or two hairs otherwise. Why such extremism? Because the laws of nature require absolutism. Now, in issues, social issues, maybe political issues, there's a time for compromise, and there's a time not to compromise. There's a time when you have to be balanced, and there's a time when you have to be absolute, so that the energy you bring down is complete and pure. In this world today, everything is compromised. One of the biggest imbalances today, obviously, is sexual energy. Everybody is so promiscuous in ways that they don't even realize is promiscuous. Our sages knew and understood this. And this is why they created laws of what we call Yihud, why men and women are not allowed to be in the same proximity together. Certainly, Negiah, you don't touch one another. Because any time that you have even physical contact, you have energy transference, and that weakens the purity. And so, but that goes against all of our social norms. You know what? You'll forgive my French. F your social norms. Because energy and the laws of energy are not subject to social norms. They're the laws of the universe. And that's the way these things are. They're solid as the rocks around me. But isn't that an illusion for the energy underlying it? I'm often asked, Rabbi, what is the secret of ascent? What do I need to do to get clarity? And the answer, follow the Sefirot. The Sefirot, the highest, the Keter, the will, requires an absolute devotion. Now, in our religion, we say you have to be absolutely devoted to Torah. In the Jewish religious context, that means observing the rituals and the religion of observance, like we Torah observant Orthodox Jews do. But universally speaking, where the laws of Judaism are not applicable to the world, but they underlie, they reveal themselves to the facade of energy flow. And everybody must understand the nature of energy flow. Energy flow requires an absolute commitment, the most sincerest of mind, the balanced of heart. And it aligns with the proper actions that we do. That's why we call in Torah, in Hebrew, halacha, the way to go. And if you look at all the different observances and all the different traditions, everyone always speaks about the importance of energy purity. And that is what's so vital. If your energy is in any which way compromised, you will never be able to ascend. And that's why most people don't, because they don't want to make the appropriate sacrifices, the appropriate focus, the appropriate disciplines necessary to be different from everybody else. But you want to know that's why this path is not for everybody, and why many people who want to walk it and try to walk it won't, because they're not willing to make the necessary, if you will, sacrifices. Look at the Shaolin monks and the lives that they have to live. Look at the Indian yogis who are in the ashrams up in all of the areas, whether they're the Hindu or Buddhist, up in the mountains of Tibet and Nepal and all these other. Look at the lives they live. Look at what a real Kabbalist has to live like. Not one of these social phony balonies that you see today, but the people who are focused in mind. You see, the focus is everything. Jumping a little bit ahead, we read in next week's Torah portion about Bilam. Bilam is the guy who, as you know, was sent to curse Israel. You read about it in the Bible. You don't need me to get into the details. But a point that our sages make. Why is he, of all the other prophets in all of history, he's the only one in the Torah other than Moses giving prophecy? Because the sages say he was as strong and powerful with the dark side as Moses was with the good. People say, I don't understand. Because you must understand. Light and darkness need to be in a balance, just like we've been talking about. And if you compromise that balance, you weaken everything. If you have the intensity of balance, even on the dark side, you connect. And Bilam is the proof of that. A couple of days ago, I was with a colleague who was having a hard time trying to accomplish something. And I recognized the only way I was ever going to get this colleague to accomplish was to get that colleague focused with energy. I knew how to do it. I provoked this individual. I got him angry. And in their state of anger, you could see the whole change in their face and everything. And they went, raw, and they got it done. And I just stood back because I really wasn't angry. It was all an act. And I quoted the lines of Star Wars. Many of you might remember from the Empire. What is it? Empire? Oh, the Return of the Jedi. When the Emperor says to Luke Skywalker, your anger makes you strong. It's true. Anger doesn't have to be bad. You focus it like a tool. But your actions have to be proper. Your deeds have to be the proper receptacle. And if you compromise there, you will be compromised everywhere. So my lesson to you this morning, the lesson of the Red Heifer, focus on absolute purity. Focus your energy. Don't compromise and water it down with the ways of the world around you. I see that all over. People call Vegas Sin City. I look and I go, it's no different from LA, from New York, Chicago, Miami, London, Paris, or even for that matter, Tel Aviv or Jerusalem. People of weakened energy because they don't want to be focused. They are weak. What does nature do with the weak? You all well know. Darwin said it right, survival of the fittest. And don't say, well, God will provide. Tell that to the 6 million who died in the Holocaust because they were weak. And look at the small number of people who came out of that Holocaust, who pretty much gave the middle finger to God and said, we're going to do things ourselves, established the state of Israel, and as politically controversial as that might be for some of you, they succeeded because they focused and they had the courage, the tenacity, the anger, and the determination. Those are the secrets of success. Compromise, you will be weak, and you will be destroyed, and you will destroy everything around you. Focus, discipline, absolute commitment with absolute strength. That is the secret of ascent. And that's your lesson of KosherTorah for today. Hope you can take it. Hope you can embrace it. Be solid like these rocks, and yet be fluid like the air that's flying around me. Learn the balance. Ariel Tzadok here, the Kosher Torah School from KosherTorah.com. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Talk to you soon. Shalom.